The country of Luxembourg, also known as the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, is located in Western Europe. Luxembourg is a landlocked country bordered by France, Germany, and Belgium. Due to its location, the country has a blend of German and French cultures. The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg is the only remaining Grand Duchy in the world today and has been an independent sovereign since 1839. It is a representative democracy in the form of a constitutional monarchy. Succession in this form of a monarchy is based on heredity. There are three branches of government consisting of executive, legislative, and judiciary. Based on Transparency International's 2016 Corruption Perceptions Index, Luxembourg is considered less corrupt than the United States, with a rank of 10 out of 176 and an index score of 81 out of 100. In regard to political freedom, Luxembourg and the United States have similar rankings despite the large difference in population and GDP per capita. Freedom status is free for both countries, and they both scored ones for freedom rating, political rights, and civil liberties. Based on the rule of law percentile rankings, Luxembourg has a stronger rule of law than the United States. Over the last 5 years, Luxembourg's average ranking has been in the high 90s versus the United States ranking in the low 90s.
Now, let's take a look at Luxembourg's economy. In the 1970s, a mixed trade environment was formalized into what is known as the Luxembourg model. This model is a tripartite partnership between employers, unions, and the government. The primary currency for Luxembourg is the euro. According to the Economic Freedom Index, Luxembourg and the U.S. have a very similar economic freedom rating. Luxembourg's trajectory has been a steady decline in 2000. After the 2008 worldwide market crash, Luxembourg was impacted by the decline in the market and uncertainty surrounding the future. In 2011, inflation had reached 3.7%. As the markets recovered and consumer confidence grew, inflation has steadily declined, and in 2013, U.S. inflation surpassed that of Luxembourg, and as of 2015, inflation in Luxembourg is 0.1%. Luxembourg has a stable, thriving, diversified economy. It has the highest gross domestic product per capita according to the International Monetary Fund. It has over 150 banks, reflecting the strength in financial services. Luxembourg hosts many multinational headquarters, such as Skype, Amazon, and ArcelorMittal are just a few to name. Reviewing the last 10 years, the euro to US dollar has had a higher exchange rate than the euro-Canadian currency exchange. However, in 2014, the Canadian exchange increased, and for the last 2 years, it has had a better rate of exchange than the US dollar.
In the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, Luxembourgish is the national language, French is the language of legislation. French, German, and Luxembourgish have the status of administrative and judicial languages. The religious composition of Luxembourg. Nations with Catholic or Orthodox majority show significant and sustained entrepreneurial activity and economic growth in the modern world, and this can be reflected in the case of Luxembourg. Next, we are going to look at education in Luxembourg versus United States. Results from PISA 2015. Performance, which considers performance in mathematics, reading, and science. And some of these performance in the case of Luxembourg can be as a result of the difficulty of using triology as in the sense of languages, 3 languages. It makes some of the students not grasp what they're supposed to grasp. We're going to explore the U.S. culture and the Luxembourg culture using the Hofstede dimensions. Number 1, using the power distance. At 40, Luxembourg sits in the lower rankings PDI. That is a society that believes that inequalities amongst people should be minimized. Actually, history shows that the people living in Luxembourg are very respectful to authorities, hierarchies, and have always shown attachment to structure. Luxembourgers respect hierarchy like the Germans do. Everybody does his job at the right place, and that's it. If changes must be implemented, no need to make revolution. The communication and common sense will prevail. Even though it looks like Luxembourg is not spending much, when compared regionally, it's at the forefront of the countries that are spending much in research and development expenditure percentage GDP. Also, in the number of patents, like in the area of scientific and technical journal articles, with a record released in 2013 for research and development R&D.
The second challenge or opportunity for us is around technology. It is moving and changing so fast, changing the way people do business and people work with each other. Luxembourg has built a great technology infrastructure. What we need to do now is commercialize it. And for us in financial services, that really means developing products like mobile applications and others that make it easier for clients to do their business.
When reviewing the environment of Luxembourg, the ecosystem services that largely benefit the country include water quality for fishing, agriculture, and drinking, soil permeability for rainwater flow, and an indirect benefit is the beauty of the diverse landscapes. Luxembourg has huge reserves of iron and timber. It has a well-established railroad and air transport. Apart from this, it also has an excellent power supply system and communications network. Luxembourg has been sustainable due to its gifted natural resources and world-class infrastructures. But the economic development of these ever-growing infrastructures, residential and commercial population, cross-border commuters, are the main driving forces affecting biodiversity, water quality, and increasing energy demand in Luxembourg. According to the environmental indicators, US did have better air quality than Luxembourg, but Luxembourg still scored better than the US in biodiversity and water resources. Overall, Luxembourg had ranked higher than the US since 2009, according to the EPI. The legal system of Luxembourg. To encourage foreign investors and to bring huge investment in the country, the government of Luxembourg has set up an agency known as the Board of Economic Development. This agency provides all sorts of support to investors and helps them to analyze and evaluate the investment opportunities that are available in the country. The government of Luxembourg offers lots of incentives to foreign investors. These incentives are in the form of credit assistance, tax rebates for foreign investors who wishes to set up companies in Luxembourg, and they have abolished the capital duty tax and has also lowered the official basic corporate tax. The government of Luxembourg is so dedicated toward encouraging foreign investment in the country that they offer custom-made incentive programs to international investors and provides an easy access to bureaucrats. The intellectual property rights in Luxembourg are covered by the patent law, Uniform Benelux law, and the EPO laws. The patent law has a 20-year maximum duration from submission date, giving your invention a high level of security. The law has no patentability check of the invention, which allows for a quick and simple registration that can be done online. However, if you want to obtain a patent without submission of a research report, there is also a short-term patent that is valid for 6 years, but it differs from the normal patent by length of protection cover and costs, giving it a lower level of security. The Uniform Benelux law regulates trademarks, copyrights, related rights, and databases, and the EPO rules apply for biotechnological interventions as well. When compared globally in the intellectual IPRI subindex, Luxembourg underranked the US. But regionally, Luxembourg is in the top 4 out of 19, making them highly attractive. And overall, according to the International Property Right Index, Luxembourg has outranked the US the majority of the time, ranking them number 3 and US number 15 in 2016. SWOT analysis of Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a very open economy and therefore very vulnerable to external shocks. Low taxes attract a significant number of e-commerce companies that can reduce government revenue. Increased international scrutiny could hurt Luxembourg's attractiveness to multinationals and thereby reduce government income as well. Overall, Luxembourg has a sustainable economic growth, an investor-friendly government, massive infrastructures, and abundance of natural resources. Luxembourg is a huge prospect for foreign investment in biotechnology, health technologies, eco-technologies, logistics, and e-commerce. It is one of the most diverse, qualified, and multilingual labor markets out that has many cross-border commuter workers. This has been a major drive force for foreign investors to set up businesses. Luxembourg is also the home to European Investment Bank, which is a financial institution of the European Union, making Luxembourg the largest financial sector in insurance banking and fund management. All these features really make the country of Luxembourg a nation which is worth investing, especially for people who want to establish their business in Western Europe.